Sports TV, man. That's my dude. I rolls with him.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports TV.
Flight Sports TV, that's where it's at.
Flight Sports TV.
What's going on, people? It's Flight Sports TV. I appreciate y'all for checking with me. I already know what it is. We back with another one of them things. I told you we were going to be with you tonight. We got ourselves one hell of a matchup. We talking AD. We talking Zach LaVine. We talking DeMar DeRozan, Debo. Listen, it's that time. I'm just going to put my pick in early. I'm going to go with the Sacramento Kings, man, but I'm going out on a limb. If AD goes off, all bets are off. It's all up to AD. AD holds all the cards tonight. So let's see what happens. Hopefully he wants to get in attack mode, because if he wants to get passive, I don't think it's gonna work out for him. Shout out to Theo3 and D. He says Flight Sports TV, the hottest ish in the streets, in the NBA YouTube streets. You already know what it is. Salute to my man Theo in the building. We moments away from tip off. Sacramento, they looking to light the beam tonight. We're gonna find out if that's the case. Dallas, man, they went through a tumultuous situation. Obviously, when you lose my man, when you lose Luka Doncic and then you lose Kyrie, I mean, the deck is stacked. Even with Anthony Davis, the only way this thing is going to work is with AD. Watch out for Klay Thompson. He's still out there. This team surprisingly did not pack it in. You would have thought that maybe they would have wanted to punt the season and just give up, look into the draft. But that didn't seem to be the case, man. Dallas, they want to be competitive and they looking to get into the playoffs. It's going to be an uphill battle. But if they win tonight, I think they could send a message to the Memphis Grizzlies. Whoever wins tonight, Memphis got to be concerned. You got Ja Morant. You seen what happened last game. Ja sprained his ankle. We don't know what the hell is going on with Ja Morant, to be honest with you. Shout out to Theo. He says that Sabonis, for some reason, has played like a Hall of Fame against AD, their careers, and think Sabonis has won last 9 or 10 games versus AD. Let's see if he can win the next one, because this is the one that really counts. This is the game that really matters. This is the playoffs, man. This is the play-in. I don't care what you want to say. This is postseason basketball. Everybody's at home. All the teams that wasn't competitive. This is the way how you're gonna carve into the postseason. The last spot is for the taking. Golden State, they secured that spot. Who gonna secure this last spot? Is it gonna be the Sacramento Kings? Like I said, Sacramento ain't nothing to fool around with, man. Sacramento this season, they made a move. They lost their franchise point guard, and look what Sacramento has done. They have still figured out a way to remain competitive, man. I think that we really need to pay homage to the Sacramento Kings just for being able to do that. They finished 9th in the East. In the West. They did good. They did good after that trade. They finished 40-42. In the season, they pretty much squeaked out the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix was looking to get that spot. I thought Phoenix was going to get it, but Phoenix should be ashamed of themselves. They have the same record as the Portland Trailblazers. You got to look at that, and you might have to think about making another move or something like that. Tonight, put your picks down. I want you to let me know who you got in this matchup. We talk about playoff performers. Who got the most pressure on them tonight? Is it Anthony Davis? Anthony Davis this season, we all know what he brings to the table. He started with the Lakers. He's averaging 24 points per game on 11 rebounds. That's spectacular for AD. His last game, he played against the Toronto Raptors. He put up 23, 13, and 10. So he showed that he could facilitate the ball. And now he's without LeBron James. He's going to have to figure it out some way, somehow. He can't continue to have, just blunders and all kind of these kind of occasions. Only time will tell. You know, um, put your picks down tonight. I want to know who you got tonight. Do you got the Kings or do you got the Dallas Mavericks? I think that's key tonight. The playing has kicked off. You've seen what happened in Chicago, man. The season is all she wrote, man. We got a lot in store for that. Make sure you pull up. I want to discuss some things. I might pull up on a live on that tomorrow, because it's time to break down the season for the Ball brothers. It's all she wrote. People thought Lonzo was coming back. The Bulls put out these reports, but we got to figure out what's going to happen. Especially with LaMelo and Charlotte. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors. We're gonna try to decipher through all of that. Shout out to Jamal Knight. He says Mavs with or without Mr. Glass. Wow. We're gonna find out. Is Anthony Davis playing tonight? That's what I want to know. Is the real AD gonna stand up? Because if Anthony Davis don't play tonight, that's just devastating. AD has to play. He knows that. We about to start up right now. Yep, they're in Sacramento, California tonight, ladies and gentlemen. The loser gets eliminated tonight. The winner advances to the next stage. So we're gonna find out. Memphis ain't nothing to fool with. You seen what Desmond Bain did last night. AD is in uniform, so you better look out. AD is officially in uniform. Shout out to Thunder in the chat. Put your picks down. Who you got tonight? Listen, man. I like Sacramento. Some is telling me it's gonna be hard pressed if this game get close. We know with AD. If AD don't go domination, I'm telling you right now, do not sleep on Zach and DeMar. They are finishing this season very good. You see Memphis. We talked about Memphis yesterday. Memphis was finished the season completely horrible. Sacramento was finishing the season strong. So I shout out to Thunder. I got Sacramento tonight too. But the only way Sacramento is going to lose, in my opinion, is unless Anthony Davis go ballistic. If AD don't go ballistic, the Sacramento going to win this game. So AD holds all of the cards tonight. We got the guys stepping to the scores desk right now. We about to have tip off right now in Sacktown. You already know what it is. Shout out to Dion Reed. He said Josh Giddey got to get paid in the off season. We're gonna break all that down. Make sure y'all pull up to the live stream tomorrow because we're gonna be breaking down a whole lot of stuff involving the Ball brothers, especially the Chicago Bulls as the season has concluded. Um, we're gonna find out. Let me give you the starting lineups tonight. We got Klay Thompson, Najee Marshall, PJ Washington, AD, Derek Lively. We got Keon Ellis, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray, and Demonis Sabonis. Put your picks down. It ain't too late. We got tip off right now in Sacktown. You already know what it is. The playing tournament continues. Salute to everybody in the chat. Thunder Dion, you already know what it is. I got PJ Washington with it. He gives it to Najee Marshall. Let's see what happens. He's picked up by Ellis. Ellis is playing ferocious defense. You know what's going on with Sacramento. Here comes Klay Thompson to Derek Lively, and that's good. Lively is on the board early. It's 2-zip Dallas. Here goes Ellis. Ellis crossing half court, picked up by PJ Washington. Ellis going all the way to the cup. He kicks it out to Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray for three, and his money. Keegan Murray's on the board for three. It's 3-2 Sacramento. You know, are they gonna light the beam tonight, or is Dallas about to ruin all that? We got only time to tell. There's 11:10 to go. Here goes Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis with it. Anthony Davis shaking and baking. AD posting up. AD going all the way to the cup. And the ball is stolen by Sacramento. Here comes the Kings. Sabonis all the way to the cup. Sabonis kicks it out to Ellis, back to Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray got it blocked by Anthony Davis. AD is on the glass early. You better look out for Anthony Davis on both sides. Pause. Here goes Derek Lively. He kicks it out to PJ Washington. PJ Washington all the way to the cup, and it's good. Dallas is back up 4-3. Here we go. Here comes the Sacramento Kings. DeMar DeRozan. DeMar has it. DeMar operating in the mid-range. You know what he do. Here goes Ellis. He gets the ball stolen. Anthony Davis is playing ferocious defense. Here goes AD. Better look out for Anthony Davis tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Sabonis better be ready. AD in the mid-range, and it's off. But I like the aggressiveness early. He's letting the shots go. Here goes Sabonis. Sabonis is on the board. Sacramento is up. They're going back and forth right now. Nobody giving up no ground. Shout out to Jamal Knight. Sacramento don't have true point guard not winner. We're going to find out. It might come down to these scores. Do not sleep on DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine. Anthony Davis in the mid-range. Anthony Davis in the mid-range. It's 6-5 Dallas. Here goes the Sacramento Kings. Here comes DeMar DeRozan in the mid-range all the way to the cup, and he's going to the line for two. Shout out to Rap Guy Reloaded in the chat. He said, I got the Mavs winning. I'm taking Sacramento. The only way I got Dallas tonight is unless Anthony Davis goes ballistic. He's already operating in the mid-range. We seeing it firsthand. It's going down. You know, we got to stop and play. We got free throws here for DeMar DeRozan. It's 9:36 in the first. It was early. You know, put your picks down. DeMar on the board with some free throws. You better look out for DeMar DeRozan. I know they don't got a point guard, but they got some elite scorers. Zach LaVine got to step up in this kind of game. We all know sometimes Zach, you know, in big moments, you know how he do. You know, he gonna have to play tonight. You know, this is not Chicago. Here goes PJ Washington. We all know PJ. We've been watching PJ for years, going back to Charlotte. Here goes AD. Come on, AD. Let's get aggressive. PJ Washington, pump fakes, throws it up to Lively. Lively missed it. AD for three, and it is off. Anthony Davis is aggressive, but PJ Washington with the cleanup. PJ Washington with the putback dunk is 8-7. Here goes the Sacramento Kings. DeMar DeRozan in the mid-range. DeMar DeRozan going all the way to the cup on the baseline. They kick it out to Ellis. They give it to Sabonis. Sabonis has it. They kick it out to Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray gets the ball deflected, and Dallas gets the steal. Here goes Najee Marshall. Najee Marshall going all the way to the cup. They kick out to Klay Thompson, and it's off. Rebounded by Sabonis. Here comes Sabonis crossing half court, shaking and baking. Kicks it out to DeMar. DeMar kicks it out to Ellis for three, and it is off. Rebounded by Anthony Davis. Here comes AD. Point forward is in effect. Point forward is in effect. He up here bringing the ball up the floor on Keegan Murray. What does AD have in store tonight? AD posting up on Murray. Kicks it out to PJ. To Najee Marshall. Corner three. Money. Dallas up 11-7. Here comes Ellis. You gotta look out for Dallas, man. It's crazy. Shout out to Jamal Knight. Here comes Sabonis. Sabonis operating in the mid-range. They kick it out to DeMar. DeMar for three. That's off. Rebounded by PJ Washington. Sacramento got to wake up. Here goes PJ. PJ going all the way to the cup. They're kicking out to Clay to Najee Marshall for another three, and it's money again. Back-to-back threes for Najee Marshall. People counted Dallas out in this game. People counted Dallas out. Mavericks on the 8-0 run. Mavs on the 8-0 run. There goes Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine going to the cup. They kick it out to DeMar. To Sabonis. Sabonis free throw line jumper and is off. Here comes here comes Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis crossing half court. Anthony Davis. And we got it. Look like we got a timeout. No, no, we got a foul. We got Ellis. He fouled AD. But it was such a silly move. It says not one sack run up till now. Jemima, you have to slow down the game. Sack. We're gonna find out what Sacramento do. You know, they got how they work cut out for them. You know, they gotta have to use this home crowd to their advantage. You know, people want to see that beam get lit. You know, people don't want to see all this crazy. So we go. It's 13-7. There goes AD. AD going all the way to the cup. AD, that should be your goal turn. So AD is on the board again. It's 15-7. Dallas. People counted Dallas out. Dallas might fool around to win this. They're on a 9-0 run. We got here comes Zach LaVine. He better wake up, man. Zach LaVine better not have a no-show. There's no way in hell Zach can have a no-show. Zach for three and his money. Zach LaVine. Zach just hit a three. It's 10-15. Here comes Exum. They kick it out to AD. AD in the mid-range. AD jumper and is off. Rebounded by Sabonis. Here comes Sabonis. They kick it out to Zach LaVine. Zach on the screen. Here comes Zach. Zach getting the screen with Sabonis. Zach LaVine, big time three, and is off. Rebounded by Keegan Murray. Back to Sabonis. Back to Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine going all the way to the cup on Klay Thompson, and it is off. Rebounded by Najee Marshall. Here comes Marshall, or going all the way to the cup to AD, and the ball was deflected by DeMar DeRozan. Good defense by the Sacramento Kings. We got a timeout. We got a break in the action. You already know what it is. It's Flight Sports. It's 15-10. I got my man All Access with me, Dex. What's the deal? It's Flight Sports TV, man. We live.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Flight Sports TV, man, and the team, Flight. What's going on with you, bro?
Man, I can't call it, man. You know, these games, they really matter. You know, so you know what time it is. You know, we like to bring the coverage to the people. You know, it's been a tumultuous year, but we are in store for one hell of a playoff, Dex. What do you think about this matchup that we have in store tonight between the Dallas Mavericks and the Sacramento Kings? We got Anthony Davis. There's a lot on the line tonight. You know, they traded Luka Doncic. You know, you see what's going on with Sac. They rolling in hot. Talk to us.
Yeah, well, I think it's a fair match. Neither one of these teams are overpowering, and they've been having some pretty good season games. So we know this is the 81st game for both. I mean, the 83rd game for both teams. I feel that Stack might pull this one out for some reason. Anthony Davis and company, I don't think they have enough. No Kyrie, of course, Nick was gone. They just a shell of themselves until some of the healthy pieces of Dallas Mavericks get back on the hardwood. Then I believe they could be a formidable team and challenge for the Western Conference supremacy.
I totally agree with you, Dex. We will find out. Salute to Thunder. You know, he's shouting out Dex. He said it's been a while. You already know what it is. Shout out to all y'all in the chat. Like I said, put your picks down. You say you got Sacramento winning tonight. I'm with you. But the only thing I said was, what do you think about AD going ballistic? Do you think that's a possibility? Because I think if that's the case, Dex, I think all bets could be off.
Well, even if AD go ballistic and he has a nutso game, I think there's more in store for Stat because they have Sabonis, they have DeMar, they have Zach LaVine, and I think that will neutralize any kind of offensive or sensational statistical explosions from Anthony Davis. I just think Dallas is next year. I don't, they're playing it out, and it's great that Jason Kidd, with all of the hysteria surrounding Dallas and the controversy with the a plume of aura. I just feel that Jason Kidd did a pretty good job um, under all of the negative smoke that he inherited upon the Luka trade.
Yes, absolutely, Dex. We're coming back from timeout. We got Lively out there, so AD shouldn't have no problem playing power forward. Let's see what happens, Dex. You don't seem too high on AD, but let's see what happens. Um, we got Nico Harrison in the building. They're showing the sights and sounds. Here goes AD, baseline on Sabonis. They'd kick it out. Najee Marshall, he's hot with the floater and it's good. Najee Marshall is 17-10. Here comes Ellis. Ellis crossing half court, met by Exum. They dump it out to Sabonis. Sabonis kicks it out to DeMar. DeMar DeRozan in the mid-range, and it's good. DeMar DeRozan, big time shot. It's 12-17. 5:40 to go. Here comes AD. We got Sabonis playing them real tough. Here comes, comes Dallas. Man, we got Dallas is playing real clumsy right now. They just lost the ball. Sacramento getting control. Nico Harrison looking crazy out there in them stands, sipping some coffee. He gonna have to stay up watching this team. He done fooled around and traded Luka. This stuff better work next season. He gonna be fired by the end of next year. Here comes Ellis. They give it to Sabonis. Sabonis operating on AD. They kick it out to DeMar. DeMar DeRozan in the mid-range. They kick it out to Ellis. Back to Sabonis. Sabonis has it. They give it to DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan in the mid-range, and he's fouled. Is that 2 shots? Yeah, DeMar getting 2 shots. So that's real silly right there. They got to be smart. I think that was on AD. So AD got to wake up. Can't give up these silly fouls. I got 17-13. Thunder says Nico need president security. Yeah, it's coming to that. It's coming to that. Salute to all y'all in the chat. We got one hell of a matchup. We're going to find out who win this game. Here comes Exum. Exum has it. Exum looking for AD. He can't find him. Dante Exum. They kick it out to Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis in the mid-range. Anthony Davis. And it's off. Anthony Davis couldn't convert it. Here comes DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan in the mid-range posting up. And DeMar can't convert. It's a real sloppy game right now for the Sacramento Kings. They can't give up this game, y'all. It's when to go home. This is the part of the playing that I do like. I think yesterday, you seen a lot of teams. They thought that they had tomorrow. These teams today, they don't have no tomorrow. Somebody's season is gonna come to an end tonight. A big time 3 from Sacramento. Sacramento got this game just nip and tuck. Kings on the 7-0 run right now. So they answered the call, but here comes Dallas. Dallas coming to play. Dante Exum is getting back on the board. We got DeMar DeRozan with it, picked up by Anthony Davis. DeMar DeRozan with a big time three, and that's money. DeMar DeRozan showing the range. It's not just mid range jumpers. They come Dante Exum. They kick it out to Martin to oh, oh my goodness, that was a hard foul. DeMar DeRozan with a big time hard foul on Gafford. We all know this is one of the reasons why Anthony Davis wanted to come to the Dallas Mavericks because they had this nice center collection over there with Lively and Gafford. You know, that seemed pretty intriguing for him. We winding down here. I'm gonna give you some stat lines. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got Anthony Davis, 4 points, 3 rebounds. PJ, 4 points. Najee Marshall, 7 points. Exum, 2 points. Max Christie, 2. Seth for Sacramento, you got DeMar DeRozan. We all know what he was going to do. He already on the board with 9. Zach with 3. Here come the Sacramento Kings. Here comes Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine has it. They kick it out to DeMar DeRozan. DeMar picked up by Daniel Gafford. DeMar DeRozan in the mid-range. They kick it out to Zach. Zach LaVine. Oh my goodness. Zach LaVine just missed a big-time dunk. Sky says AD is trash. You know, we're going to find out with AD. AD got a lot on the line tonight. He has to play. It's 23-20 right now.
I should be worried about his penalty.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You don't need to be looking at nobody else's backyard. Don't worry about how tall my grass is.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he got to. Here comes DeMar DeRozan. DeMar kicks it out. Valanciunas, he didn't shoot it. Here comes Zach LaVine, 3-pointer, and it's off. Dante Exum pushing with pace. Here comes Exum. They kick it out to Anthony Davis for a 3. AD is just icy right now. He got to pick it up. He started the game off hot, but it's still early. So, But what's happening right now, you got the Kings, they're waking up. Zach LaVine has to have a good game tonight. He can't have a no-show. Exum was looking for Anthony Davis. He was hunting for him. He couldn't find him. Here comes Anthony Davis. He couldn't convert it. AD missed it again. Damn. Oh, don't tell me AD is hurt. He was a little slow to get up there. Oh, wow. The Kings. The Kings forced a timeout. Dex, man. What you think about the Kings, man? I'm Anthony Davis. If he don't wake up, this game could be over.
Well, honestly, my assessment was earlier, still the same. I just feel that the Kings have a 3-headed monster that Anthony Davis won't be able to stave off, regardless of his statistical explosion, if that's the case. I think the Kings will move on, just like the Miami Heat.
Yeah, I agree with you. We're gonna find out. You say you got the Kings, but what do you think about them going up against Memphis? Who has the best chance of defeating Memphis? In your opinion?
Memphis is eliminated.
No, they're not.
Oh, that was a 7-8 game?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, got you. Yeah, I think Memphis can win in advance. I don't see really Dallas nor Sacramento beating Memphis at the target point. Jawa at the full there, and Memphis needs to be in the playoffs. Ja have to kind of salvage with whatever PR that's left a part of his good name. And superior basketball skill. So I'm a root for Memphis on that one. Even though I like Zach LaVine a lot, you know, he was always a player that I liked. DeMar so, but I think Memphis get past Sacramento. If Sacramento like the Bees. I think Sacramento will be 84 and done. Wolves is 83 and done.
No, it's an 84 and done.
Yeah, I'm talking about Sacramento 84 and done.
Yeah. Only time we're gonna tell though.
Dang, Jamel said Memphis is trash. I don't know, man. They ran against Golden State. I mean, you know, Golden State was one of the hottest teams in the NBA after the All-Star break.
Playoff Jimmy.
So, yeah, so you know that was a buzzsaw, and that was probably a little too much for John. I mean, you know, they did a good job. Jamil, be honest, Memphis did a good job all the way to like 6 minutes into the third quarter. That's when Steph Curry woke up. And somebody gave him a Ixola, and hey, that's ambrosia is a food of the god. And somehow, some way, this Steph Curry woke up and he was just unstoppable. It was nothing that Memphis could do. It was too late. They had him bottled up, but you know, shoot or shoot, right?
Absolutely. You know, there's no way around it. But AD got to get going. I don't know why they're showcasing AD misses when they're trying to show a bad narrative. He was hot early though. He's gonna have to answer the call against Sabonis, man. Sabonis gonna be coming for him tonight.
So, Fly, how you feel about the Miami Bulls game? I mean, Bulls is at home, everything laid out for them.
I was letting the people know that we was going live to discuss these things because this is disgusting. You know what is taking place. There's no games tomorrow. I don't think, is it? Is there any games?
No.
Okay, yes. Yeah, we will be live to discuss that tomorrow. So please make sure you buckle up. Anybody that's here tuned in, make sure you're here to tuned in for this live stream. But we will give you some snippets. It was disgusting.
Yeah, we could talk a little bit about it. Because I mean, I warned everybody about the Kobe White and the Josh Giddey hype to it. I warned everybody. I'm quite sure they thought I was being a hater or something. But I mean, you know, we done seen this television show time and time again. I mean, how many times do you want to watch the reruns, right?
I'm telling you.
Bulls 83 and done.
This is ridiculous, man. We got Gafford trying to push the lead. Let's see if he can be successful.
Rap God said there's games Friday. So Thursday is the day off, which is tomorrow. And then start back Friday.
Yeah, that's where you're gonna know the final set of who got the 8 seed on both conferences. Because you still got Atlanta. Atlanta still is there. So Atlanta is gonna play Miami.
Like, did you put that Sky 80 is trash up there, or did I put that?
Nah. I did that. Yeah. Sky is just going crazy.
Because I'm trying to highlight, and they won't let me highlight it for me.
You just took something.
Highlight the chat.
You took something.
Yeah, I'm trying to highlight the chat. Oh, that's what I did, huh?
Yeah.
So maybe, I don't know, maybe my phone is strict.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to put that Lonzo poll up there. Thunder had one and Jamil Knight had one. I was thinking Lonzo would be the first bro in the playoffs. Too bad. Yeah. Too bad. Well, Lonzo should have been healthy enough to help his cause. Unfortunately, injury backed him again. Because Lonzo was supposed to come back around 3 to 4 games into the end of the season. And when he didn't come back those 2 to 3 games, I felt that, okay, he's off schedule. He's not even on schedule. And he wasn't able to come back for the play-in tournament. So yeah, very frustrating.
We at the end of the first quarter. It's 27-29. Sacramento. So give him major props. Like I said, man, this is ridiculous. We can get back to the team that just went fishing. What's gonna happen? Lonzo look like he's gonna be there. He signed. What's up with Giddey? Don't they gotta pay him? What's up?
Well, they don't have to pay Giddey. What they're gonna do, but see, this what Giddey did. It's called what's that called again? I think it's a AAV, like annual asset value or something like that, where a player bet on himself, like Alex Caruso did. A player would bet on himself and will allow the market to set his value and not a team. So if the market say getting value at $30 million a year, then that would be the base of what a team could sign him at. So then let the bidding begin. So there's going to be an auction for his talent, starting at $30 million. So that's what Josh Giddey is beckoning. And I'm telling you, he did pretty good this year, or as far as betting on himself. You know what I'm saying? So the annual value of that of his positions will be determined this summer.
Yeah, we're gonna find out about that position. Because like I said, there's a lot of ramifications.
I think it's called annual average value, AAV, annual average value. That's when a player bet on himself. That's what they don't say that annual average value. They just say, oh, he's betting on himself, and that's what they mean by he's betting on himself. The nomenclature that covers betting on yourself. That's what that is. Annual average value.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. What's up with Billy Donovan? When he gonna get fired?
Oh no, Billy Donovan done a good job. whether we like him or not, I mean, if you any other basketball enthusiast or a realistic pundit, Billy Donovan done a really good job getting that crumb team, a bunch of crumbs on that team, into the play-in. And not only did he get them into the play-in, they hosted their 83rd game. They didn't go on the road. They played that game at the United Center. But what happens is this, like I warned a lot of C-Red Nation, Kobe White is what you consider erratic. I mean, that's the best euphemism that I can attach to his name. He's very erratic. Sometimes he reads his press clippings. And when he does that, this is what you get from Kobe White. You get a night where he makes 5 to 7 shots, but he misses 17 shots. Josh Giddey probably over pressing tonight. And this is what you get from Josh Giddey. Because neither one of Josh Giddey's or Kobe White is a dog. You follow what I'm saying? They're not real dogs. Kobe White is just a scorer. He's just going to shoot the ball regardless. He's a Jordan Clarkson. He's a, what's the boy from Alexander? Shea Cousin. He's one of them type of players. He's going to shoot the ball. And when you shoot like that, sometimes you have a good night, sometimes you have a bad night. Sometimes you might have a week where you just can't miss. And sometimes you're going to have a week where you can't buy a bunch. So that type of up and down, erratic, unsustainable play you're going to get from Kobe White. I mean, he just showed us that for the last 5 years. I mean, what else you going to? You can't get blood from a turtle. So this is what you get in these type of games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Read his press clippings, right? Kobe read his press clippings, and this you get.
Yep. We back with it though. I got Sabonis operating with it. Sabonis picking up on Lively. He couldn't convert it. Here comes the Sacramento Kings. Ellis kicks it out to Sabonis. They kick it to Zach. Zach LaVine back to Sabonis. Sabonis posting up on Derek Lively, and that was ugly. He couldn't convert it. Here comes the Dallas Mavericks. Dallas pushing it up. Dallas still trying to make the playoffs despite all the injuries, all the turmoil. PJ Washington, he converts it. They tied up. It's tied up right now, 29 up. We got the 10th seed versus the 9th seed looking to, move on to go face the Memphis Grizzlies. Who will prevail? Here goes Sabonis. Sabonis just gives it away. Najee Marshall, he's been hot tonight, ladies and gentlemen. The former Pelican. Here comes Sabonis. He just intercepts the pass. It was like a goddamn football play. Here comes Sabonis. Sabonis going to the cup, and Sabonis loses it. Here we go. Here comes the Dallas Mavericks. Dallas pushing it up with pace, and they couldn't convert it. Here comes Sabonis, Zach LaVine. Look out for Zach LaVine tonight, y'all. Keegan Murray for 3. That's off. Here goes Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson going all the way to the cup. Klay Thompson gives it out to Lively. 3-pointer for Dallas, and it's good. So Dallas is up. That was Williams, 32-29. Williams with a big 3. Thunder says, I would say SGA plays way more in control than Kobe. I mean, that's irrelevant.
No. I think you misunderstood what I was saying. I was trying to get the name of his cousin. This is Alexander Walker.
Yes.
That's why I was trying to get the name of SGA. That's their cousin. I was trying to get his name, not comparing SGA to Kobe. Right. Not Nikhil Alexander Walker. That's what I'm saying. That's a facsimile of Kobe White.
Yeah. Oh, you comparing him to Nikhil?
Yes, sir.
That's crazy. So if Nikhil had more freedom, he would be Kobe White. We're in the midst of a commercial break. Brandon Williams is just cooking, the Sacramento Kings. They got to wake up. I don't think nobody thought Sacramento would lose like this. We're going to find out. I want to see what SGA and them do. A lot of people think that that they just going to cruise to a championship or something. We're going to have to find out what happens with the Oklahoma City Thunder. There's no guarantee that they're going to win it all. There's no guarantee. Only time will tell. We got a lot of time left, though. Salute to all y'all in the chat. Put down in the chat who y'all got in this game, too. It's not too late to put your picks down. We're in the middle of a commercial break. Jamal Knight says OKC is finished. I don't know about that. We're going to find out who they face. I want to see that. I want to see a couple of series, though. Houston, obviously. New York, LA. There's a lot of different things, that could transpire. I want to give you a stat line right now. I got Zach LaVine with 5 points, Sabonis with 2, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, a steal. I got Keegan Murray with 5 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. DeMar DeRozan, 9 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Trey Lyles, 3 points, 5 rebounds. Carter, 5 points. So it was a nice balanced attack right now. It says I said it. I said Sac got it tonight. Yeah, everybody said that. I think everybody picking Sacramento tonight. I think Sacramento was going to win, but I didn't see a situation where maybe Dallas was going to wake up like this. I thought Dallas wanted to win a goddamn pick or something like that. The way they be acting sometimes, look like they look into the draft. It says hate. It says yep. So Mavs win. We're gonna find out it's not over. You know, the game is far from over. Um, you're gonna have to wait to see who's gonna prevail in this matchup. Rap guy says Sacramento want to make everybody want to make the playoffs. Anthony Jefferson says, could Detroit be the Indiana Pacers of the last year going to the Eastern Conference Finals? I don't know about all that. That's going to come about at the expense of the New York Knicks. You know, so I don't know. You know, just people need to pump the brakes. You know, just we're gonna have to find out what happens. But the winner of this game, I could tell you for sure that's gonna happen. They're gonna play Memphis on Friday, and the loser will be eliminated. You know, so this game right here is definitely key. We're gonna find out, you know, who prevails. But you got Ellis out there. You better look out for Williams. Williams been cooking. And that's on Dallas. Sabonis operating on Lively. They kick it out to Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine kicks it out to Ellis for three, and it's good. We got Ellis. Ellis is cooking. Sacramento, they don't want to go easy. Here comes Williams. This kid, Brandon Williams. We got Klay Thompson, three. Playoff Klay. Good. Klay Thompson out here cooking. It says whoever the ninth seed is eliminated, right? Well, whoever loses this game is eliminated, basically. You know, that's here goes Sabonis to Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine in the mid range, and that's off. Here goes Najee Marshall to PJ Washington. PJ Washington going over to the cup, and that's good. PJ flexing out there. But look out for PJ Washington, man. You know, he came a long way from the losing seasons up there in Charlotte. Sabonis has it. Sabonis is finding Zach LaVine, screen and roll. Zach LaVine, three ball, cash. You know, Sacramento cutting into this game. You know, Dallas still holding on, not trying to give up any ground. Klay Thompson for another three, and that's good. Klay Thompson out here drilling threes. You better look out for Klay Thompson. And he out there chirping too. He got 6 points, 2 or 4 from three, 4 rebounds. He giving you a little bit of everything. You know, Sacramento showing just their IQ level. You know, might not be where it needs to be going up against a team like this. DeMar DeRozan. If you got to rely on DeMar to hit threes for you, you know you're in trouble. And that's what we're seeing firsthand. If you lose as 9th or 10th, you're out, I think. Yeah, of course. That all gets figured out. We got Lively and Williams going to the bench. We got Klay Thompson and AD out there. Let's see what AD does. He needs to secure this game. Anthony Davis, he defended DeMar DeRozan. Sabonis puts it up, and he couldn't convert it. He was looking for a foul. We got Dallas ain't playing. They ultra aggressive. They going to the line and everything. So they're putting the pressure on them. We're gonna find out, and we know at the end of the season, Sacramento is gonna be looking for a new coach. We all know Christie. He's just a lame duck. He's just sitting there. You know, he's gonna eventually get moved out and move somebody else in. You know, I want to know who's that guy gonna be. You know, for Sacramento. You know, a lot of people want to go with these young coaches and shit like that. You know, I say you go with somebody, you know, that's proven. in my opinion, or you could just wait to see who gets fired. Because let's see what happens. Because I know if the Knicks lose in the first round, Thibodeau is getting fired, and I think some teams need to look into Tom Thibodeau. Because get the team jump started, maybe move from the point one to point B. Here goes Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine trying to get into this game. Sacramento is on the ropes right now, y'all. Najee Marshall. Oh man, they pushing the game out. Mike Malone might coach. Yeah, that'll be a good move. It's looking like it's over out here, Dex. What can Sacramento do to get in this game?
What's the
Is
score?
there
You ain't even yell out your scores. What's the score? How much time is that?
47-35.
Oh man, it ain't over. Nowhere near over.
It's still early.
That's only 12 points.
Yeah, it's still
That's
early.
4 possessions.
Dallas is surging.
Yeah, I mean it's a pretty. Like I said, I'm sticking with my guns. I like Sacramento. If Sacramento loses, it'll be a tragedy because they have 3 All-Stars. Dallas only got 1. So that'll be crazy.
Yeah. Good call. Who do you think should be the next coach? Of the Sacramento Kings. You got everybody talking about Mike Malone in the chat. Shout out Anthony Jefferson, rap guy. What you think about Mike Malone in Sacramento?
Hey, whoever said Mike Malone, they might be on point right now. Because, like I said, you got the personalities. You got the foreigner, right? You got Zach LaVine, and you got DeMar DeRozan in. And I believe Mike Malone, to some degree, can manage personalities, but at the same time, Mike Malone can get a little aggressive if he have a little too much tequila.
Yeah. Good point there. Shit is crazy, Dax. We're gonna find out. What's up with Anthony Edwards. You got a tough matchup coming up. What you think about?
And man, listen, I sprinkled a lot of grandeur on Anthony Edwards in that last game where he had I think it was 43 or something to that nature, 46. He was popping heads against Utah. Then the Clippers beat Golden State. The worst case scenario for Ant-Man and the Minnesota Twins. They needed Golden State to beat the Clippers. And Golden State dodged the bullet. It was a great game. I watched that game. James Harden turned back the hands of time. Shout out to JH for his performance. Did you see Kawhi Leonard? Oh my God, he's looking scary.
Kawhi Leonard, man, they might do it. They might do something, Dax.
So for the Clippers to win that game, it put Ant-Man in the crosshairs. And so now he got to go against the Lakers, and I think the Lakers have dominated them this season. So I don't think Ant-Man was woke up praying to the God that he want Luka in the Lakers. You follow what I'm saying? I don't think that was his prayer. And if he did, then that means he's psychotic. And you got to watch out for Ant-Man. But I think Ant-Man will have a great series. He will put up monstrative numbers. But I think the Lakers will go ahead and be in the top 6.
Yes, I agree with you. We back with it out of timeout. The Sacramento Kings, they back with it. We got DeMar DeRozan on the board. It's 47-37 on my end. I got Klay Thompson. They kick it out to Dante Exum. Exum kicks it out to Klay Thompson. Top of the key 3-ball splash. It's 50-37 now. Dallas, they ain't playing around with this team. They're trying to stranglehold their ass. Here goes DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan gives it to Sabonis to Ellis all the way to the cup. Ellis with a big-time dunk. It's 39-50. Here goes Exum. Exum going to the cup, picked up by Zach LaVine. Exum screen and roll with AD. Dante Exum kicks it out to Klay Thompson for a 3-ball, and that's money. So Dallas is back up, putting the heat on them, 53-39. Klay Thompson is getting red hot. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Don't count out Sacramento. They're trying to light the beam. It's still early. Shout out Daniel Berry Sports in the chat. Here we go. Here goes DeMar DeRozan. They kick it out to Ellis. Ellis, step back 3-ball. Oh, that's goaltending. Offensive interference. What the hell? They counted that? What the hell happened now? Oh, that was a crazy play. We got a crazy game right now. Shout out to everybody in the chat. It's Flight Sports TV. We got playing basketball right now. We got the Dallas Mavericks up there in Sacramento, California. It's going down. Will the Kings light the beam, or they about to get beamed up out of here? We're about to find out. It's a close game. It's still early. 10, 11. There's really nothing. These teams, they can get back. These teams shoot the 3 so well. It don't really take nothing to get back in the game. We all know that. Look like some misconfusion here with a call. It's 4:55. We got free throws here for Ellis. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Ellis scores it. Here we go. We got Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson pushing it up. Let's see what Klay is gonna do. People counted Klay Thompson out. Yeah, I got it's 43. You just might be slightly ahead of me over there. But yeah, I got Klay Thompson going to the line for 2 shots. So it's 55-43. We got Klay Thompson. He cooking tonight, y'all. Do not count out Klay Thompson. Big time game right now in this playing matchup. 4:44 to go in the second. You see Nico Harrison out there. He out there suited and booted. He want to see Dallas go to the playoffs. That's going to be a good look for him. Here we go. Here goes Sabonis. Sabonis coming up, crossing half court. Sabonis has it, and we got a stoppage. Rap guy says AD with 4 and 4. LOL. Give AD some time. It's still a long game. It's still a long game. Here we go. Sabonis going to the cup. The Kings got to get back in this game. If the Kings don't wake up, there's no reason. AD don't got to press the issue. Shit, Dallas is rolling. He's comfortable just moving the ball around. Here goes Exum. Exum going to the cup with the float, and that's good. See, if Sacramento don't want to play no defense, shit, fuck it. Just take what you can get. Exum and these, they coming down the lane aggressive. DeMar and these dudes, they're not answering the call. That's really the issue. Their offense is idiotic. Dallas is actually looking like they're running the system. Sacramento just passing it to people. Here you go, and shit like that. It's just stupid. Sabonis going to the line with 2. This is LaVine with 8. Give time to LaVine. LaVine's got to make sure he don't have a no-show though. He can't have like no points and nothing like that. He can't finish this game with 11. This would be horrible. It's not gonna be a good look for him. Let me know if you're counting out the Kings already. Sabonis going to the line for 2. It's not over, y'all, man. Sabonis missing free throws, y'all. Sabonis missed his first free throw. Sabonis going for a second. Let's see if he's successful here. The Kings, man, they got to make sure, they get back in striking distance. So I got 57-46. We got Williams with it. Williams crossing half court, met by Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine kicks it out. PJ missed it. Damn. There goes Murray. Keegan Murray going all the way to the cup on Anthony Davis. They kick it out to DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan has it. DeMar shaking and baking in the mid-range. They kick it out to Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray, he loses it. And it's going back to Dallas. It's going back to Dallas, y'all. So it's a wild game right now. Crazy game. Sacramento, if they don't wake up, it's over. You got PJ and these dudes, they just keep going to the line. It's like they're just eating at the free throw line. They eating. Shout out Rap Guy in the chat. Salute to all y'all in the building. I got PJ Washington shooting 2 free throws. PJ Washington, he's a big-time contributor to the Dallas Mavericks. A lot of the Charlotte Hornets players that we see, they could be big-time contributors in another situation. Who's to say you look at Miles Bridges? What if you put Miles Bridges in a different system? You see what PJ did. It says who's Sacramento point guard is Keon Ellis. If I believe that's his name. But we all know the point guard is really DeMar DeRozan. DeMar is the one that's really, getting the ball. As you can see, Keegan Murray, when he inbound and he's giving it to DeMar, they just got a guy out there just for him to be out there, to feed the guys. Here we go with Zach. See, this is like a your turn, my turn kind of game, for the Kings. They're not going to win like that, especially with Dallas playing like they playing like they're some winners, man. There goes the Kings. DeMar going to the cup and he scores it. Let's see if DeMar can, put this team on his back. That's what it's going to take, in order to be successful. Here goes AD. AD with the putback. It's 63-48. 2:20 to go in the second. Here goes the Sacramento Kings. DeMar DeRozan has it. DeMar DeRozan, moving and grooving. DeMar, free throw line jumper, off. Here we go. Here goes PJ. PJ Washington has it. PJ going all the way to the cup, and he missed it. But it looked like that was a foul. Was that Gafford or PJ? There was a foul there. So they're moving real idiotic, man. I'm telling you, the Kings, man, I expected a little bit better performance. I hope after the half they wake their ass up, because it could be over. Shout out to everybody in the chat. You already know what it is. It's Flight Sports. We got playing basketball. NBA playoffs is in store. You already know what it is, man. PJ Washington picked up by DeMar DeRozan. They give it to Anthony Davis. A lot of people expect a big-time game from AD. We haven't seen it yet. PJ Washington got a shot block. AD mid-range jumper. That's off. Gafford with the putback, and that's good. Big-time play from Daniel Gafford. He's been balling tonight. It's crazy. There we go. The Kings flapping, y'all. They're gonna fool around and blow this game. That's what's gonna happen. Here we go. Can the Kings get back in? Can they play some defense? They got to get some stops. Anthony Davis just rising into these shots. That's a big time 3. They're up 20. Then it's over. Dallas, they putting the candle. Man, it's crazy. People had Sacramento tonight too. Sacramento just came out and quit. Like they just ready to go on vacation.
They're trying to get to Cancun.
That's ready to go on the flight. What you think, Dax?
Yeah, flight. The way that you're explaining it looks like they can't wait to to get to Cancun. They might have had it already reserved. We're going to see what kind of adjustment Chrissy has for the second half because this would be a shameful loss with the Sacramento Kings and the talent that they currently have on their roster team.
At home. I could see if this happened in Dallas, but not at home. You're supposed to have a better outing. This is just ridiculous, But it shows you they got a lot they got to fix. The Kings, there's a lot going on. And you might have to ask yourself, are they making all of the right moves? Should they have just one full-on rebuild? Because they got 1 foot in and 1 foot out. What you think, Dax?
Well, I like that they made a run for it, It was challenging to those veterans on that team, and they came through and got a home game for the 83rd game this year for them. It's just sad that they are 83 and done.
Yeah, I agree with that. We back with it. Let's see what happens, man. The Kings, man, they on the ropes right now. Here comes Zach LaVine to give it to DeMar DeRozan. Let's see if they can get some, fluidity out here. DeMar, they're going back to his ISO. Your turn, my turn. Everybody standing around, and DeMar just literally threw the ball out of bounds. He literally launched the ball out of bounds, looking like a pass that wasn't there. So they just, this offense is stupid, from the Kings. It's like Chicago out west. AD. Oh my goodness. AD is killing them. AD with another 3. It's 71-48. Mavs on a 10-0 run. This shit is over with. And then it was a moving screen on Sabonis. So the Kings can't get a fucking break. They can't get a break. It's 71-48. Dallas is just killing them right now. I don't know what to say. They should be ashamed of themselves the way they came out at home. If they lost like this in Dallas, I'd probably be cool with it. But you ain't supposed to lose like this at home. Giving up all these shots. These people pay good money for these seats. It's all she wrote, y'all. We had to miss the halftime. It's 71-48. Klay Thompson with 16 points. Najee Marshall with 9. Lively with 2. Anthony Davis with 12. PJ Washington with 10. Exum with 6. Christie with 2. Going to Sacramento. They got to wake up, getting out this, half. Ellis with 9. Zach 8. Sabonis 5. Keegan Murray 5. DeMar DeRozan 13. What's some of your takeaways from the half, Dex?
Well, one thing that the Sacramento Kings have to make a serious adjustment is on Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson is 16 at the half right now is absurd, especially that, we know Klay Thompson is kind of limited in his physicality. So if the Sacramento Kings is going to sit there and let Klay Thompson just launch with confidence, then they deserve to be in Cancun. And what the hell is going on with pressing the ball and trying to get Dallas Mavericks point guard a little rattled? There's no Kyrie there. There's no calm to the storm. So Doug Christie, I don't know what kind of defense that he is trying to force on his team, but it looks like nobody want to play defense. So I'm shocked. I'm literally shocked.
Yeah. Do you think that Sacramento can get back into this game coming at the half, or you think they are really endangering themselves right now?
Well, we would know in the first 3 minutes of the third quarter, if Zach is going to lay down, or they're going to play this out with fervor and rigor, inspection to detail. After the first 3 minutes, we would know if it's lights out, and the beans will not be lifted this year.
Yeah. Who are you most surprised by tonight? Especially on the Dallas side. Are you surprised they coming out with this fight? What do you think?
Well, AD, Clay Thompson, PJ Washington, no, I'm not surprised. But what is surprising me is that Williams came, and he set the tone. And you can't let some of these non-scouted players set the tone, because then the scouted players are going to rise to the occasion, because they're going to look at that as a work of encouragement. Because they're like, how is he doing it? And I'm sitting up here like kind of on chill stones. Let me get my head out my ass and play some serious basketball, because I cannot let these non-scouted players just show out and I don't contribute. So that's what's happening tonight. And for the Sacramento Kings, it's just deplorable basketball, a lot of bad behavior out there in the hardwood. And we already know Zach LaVine is one of the worst players in the NBA. When his team is down, he muster up the strength to come back. We know Zach LaVine in years past, when his team get down like that, he puts his head down and he cowties and surrender when he should dig a foxhole and defend his fortress. DeMar DeRozan, he's somewhat like that, but not all the way. If DeMar DeRozan smells blood, he's a shark in the water, then he will come through. But if he doesn't smell blood, then he turns from a shark to a guppy.
Yeah, don't you think this team is like the Chicago Bulls of the West, like how they would kind of were back in Chicago, Zach and DeMar?
I wouldn't say that, because see, they had a reason for their folly. They had a reason for their failure. They had a reason for their falling. And that was the essential, well, let me put it more bluntly, quintessential non-presence of Lonzo Ball. So that gave them a legitimate reason for the chemistry to be off a little bit, because there was nobody to distribute the ball with passion. Everybody on the Bulls during that Lonzo vacate were scorers, and they was not playmakers. And that's what hurted them. So I would give them a pass for that. But now they with Sacramento, it's a little different than that Bulls situation. They should know upon experience that tick for tat doesn't work with DeMar and Zach. Like,
It has to work. There's no other option. Slim says DeMar game doesn't translate in the playoffs. Well, I don't know about all that. He's had some good moments in the playoffs. Let's stop acting like if it wasn't for LeBron, they would have never went at least to the finals at least once. I think they, at least in Toronto, I don't know if they would have won it all, but they would have at least got to the finals. And then even when he went to San Antonio, he played pretty good in the playoffs. I remember they faced Denver, that one year. He was all right. Shit. I can't say he's a bad playoff performer, though. I got to see. I think the team, man, these guys got to give him a different system, man. It's like these teams play like his style of isolation. You can't play like that with teams like Dallas and Jason Kidd and shit like that. It's just bad, if you're moving in that direction. Slim says back to the basketball or mid-range pull-ups and one-on-one is too slow. Well, I don't know about all that. It was a different NBA when he was in Toronto and younger, yeah. You're right. You're right about that. I think that if at least they needed De'Aaron Fox, it would have been good if they could have added Zach LaVine with and not got rid of De'Aaron Fox. I think that would have really been big time if that could have happened.
I don't think so. I don't think that works either because
No?
Darion Fox is a full first point guard. And even though his assist has increased over the years, but that's not his mentality to be a playmaker. His mentality is to put the ball in the bucket and get paid. So Zach LaVine's touches will be minimum as well as DeMar DeRozan. And then you have Sabonis, he has to touch the ball. So it's not enough balls for all those ball dominant kind of players. So I think Darion Fox did the right thing, get the hell up out of Sacktown, because Sack wasn't going to give him no more money. Now, San Antonio will give him the money because it's based on potential. And it's based on alleviating a lot of anxiety and pressure on Wemby. So financially, he did the right thing, and for his career, playing-wise, he did the right thing because he don't have to, Darion Fox, don't have to work so hard in San Antonio as he would have in Sacktown.
Yeah, but it's not his team anymore. Does that matter?
No, because they're going to pay him. Because it's going to be a minute before Wemby gets his, right? Like 4 more years before Wemby gets his. So Darion Fox can ride that out. I think 2 years from now, he probably get re-upped. Or they might negotiate even sooner to extend him. So they can have him on board for the long haul. So that was a very meticulous move from Clutch Sports to get Darion Fox out of there because he wasn't going to accrue any more money. He had maxed out his financial potential in Sacktown, but in San Antonio, down there on that Riverwalk, Charles Barkley talk about them big girls down in San Antonio. They love to see Darion Fox put that ball in the hole on a consistent basis.
What about Popovich?
I think Popovich is done. He's done. I mean,
why they haven't come out?
He has to be a maniac to try to come back and coach, especially dealing with a near-death experience. He's older. The players are different. Even the foreign-born players are different. Those guys gave Pop a little bit of hard time. The Sacred and the Vassell, you know what I'm saying? So those guys felt they were just as valued as American players, American-born players. And, Jacob Portal, they gave Pop hell over there. And look, they almost killed the man.
Well, hopefully it wasn't that bad, then. It was good. Yeah, I don't know what was going on with that. But I would like to see if Popovich did come back and coach that team. He's been sticking around there for a minute, so give him props.
Well, right, you have to understand, like this is a medical emergency.
Yeah.
And I'm quite sure his doctors told him you can't get your blood pressure up, you can't get your anxiety up, you can't be anxious, you You just have to be chilled for the rest of your life. Now, Pop can just remain in the GM position and not even worry about coaching on that end, the X's and O's, and just, and allow him to live out his life. Because other than that, like I said, like this is a new day and time. This is not the Ginobili and Duncan and Parker era. Even though Parker gave Pop a hard time at first. These players right now, I don't care wherever they're coming from, they read their press clips and they want to be mentioned up there with some of their Canadian counterparts, as well as European counterparts and American counterparts. So all this disciplinarian and MK Ultra type approach and mentoring, it's just obsolete right now. These players are just they have so much information at their disposal, and the PR machines for a lot of these players won't even allow Pop to get off the way he's been getting off because the power is not with the coaches anymore. The power is in the players. Thank you, LeBron James.
I can agree with that. We all know the power LeBron has. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the power once LeBron retires. Is it still going to be that powerful? That's what I want to know. Who's going to eventually get that power? What is it going to look like? Will there ever be a player like that again? Because we take players like LeBron for granted,
Yeah, shout out to Q, Leader Q, 05. He said he moved to Dallas.
A lot of people had Dallas. Josh sprained his ankle last night.
Yeah, I was listening to your play-by-play.
Yeah, what you think about Ja?
I don't know, man. I think Memphis have enough to beat these two teams. In a one game, a one-hit quitter, especially at home. But they're not going to go. I mean, they don't have the firepower to really extend their season either, like Memphis. So Memphis could get out of the play-in, but whoever they face, which would be Houston, right? I think they will face Houston. Or the Golden State face Houston. Golden State face Houston. Golden State got a good draw. That's a good draw for Golden State. So Memphis will face OKC. And I don't think they have enough for OKC. Especially if Ja shoots with ankle. OKC might win that in 5.
Especially if he's hurt.
Yep.
I want to see healthy Ja versus Shea, though. I think that's
not this year.
What you think about all the gun celebrations and the bomb celebrations? What you think about all that?
That don't bother me because America was established by guns and bombs. The NRA is one of the most lucrative organizations in American history. So the thing of it is, they just don't like black people being braggadocious with weapons and arsenal. They don't mind you having guns, but just keep it to yourself. So when you start bragging that, I got a gun and I can do this, I can do that, I'm a legal carrier, they don't like that because most of white America abhorred any kind of civil liberty with a life-threatening apparatus of any sort in the hands of black males. It's just a thing that brings nightmares to them because they feel in honesty that if we was to pick up arms like they pick up arms and celebrate high power weapons as citizens as they do, maniacism and some of the, you know, brothers and sisters, and things might not go right for a lot of Caucasians because they use that type of behavior pattern to instill fear in others. You know, they talk brash. You know, they pump up their shoulders when they got a gun on them, and they talk crazy to you. So that's how you know, oh shit, this Caucasian probably got a gun. Because he wouldn't be talking to you like that without any weapons, whether you have it concealed or unconcealed. And so that has been always a deterrent for blacks in the right. Was that the First Amendment right or Second Amendment right? Excuse me, Second Amendment right to be able to bear arms as citizens. And this is the reason why they try to get a felony on you and disqualify you from being a legal gun. So I don't have no problem with it. But like I said, the gestures makes the establishment afraid more so than y'all out here being a menace in society.
I agree with you, Dax. The score is 73-50 on my end. We got a crazy game. AD and them is cooking. Sacramento, like I said, look like they booked the travel arrangements. You know, so we're gonna find out. It says Natik says if Dallas ends up being the AFC, do you think they have a chance against OKC? Hey, you never know. They beat them last year, right? That would be pretty interesting. I'll tell you what. Excuse me. I think that with John Morant being hurt, let's see what happens. I mean, this game is over with. I think that Dallas might mess around and go because we got to see what's up with Ja, the health of Ja. If Ja's not healthy, I don't think he beat Dallas. They still got enough firepower without Kyrie Irving, you know, to cause problems. You seeing that? We're gonna continue to see it. PJ Washington's out there pushing it up with pace, lively. Like I said, the Kings ain't even showing no fight. You know, that's another thing. If you're gonna lose, you're gonna lose. But damn, show some fight. They playing like the Sacramento Kings right now. Thunder says OKC will whoop Dallas. They lost Luka and Kyrie. That's a fact. I just think they're gonna beat Memphis. I ain't said they was gonna beat OKC. I don't know about OKC. That's gonna be a big time threat. But I just don't see a pathway for Sacramento to get back in this, man. You know, they're gonna need a lot of luck, you know, to happen for that to take place. Here we go. PJ Washington. I don't know what the hell's going on with PJ. Gotta wake up out there. Slim says Zach LaVine plays like a peon, bro. Got 8 points. I'm telling you, this gonna be a bad loss on his resume. I'm watching him. I don't know why these guys play like this. They look good all season, and then when the game matters, shit like this happens. This is ridiculous. Here comes AD. AD all the way to the cup, and he's fouled.
Pressure bust a pipe.
What'd you say?
Pressure bust a pipe.
Yeah. 75-51. This is ridiculous, man. Yeah, Zach, man, he looking crazy out there. Especially if they lose. He got to do better than that. He making too much money, to be playing like that. And that's why you were paid like that. These dudes just want to show out in the regular season. It's to the point now, nothing that they do in the regular season is important. They go for DeMar too. So next year they start having all these good games and high points, and I mean, who cares? Go to the playoffs and do it. Here we go. I mean, they got blown out. That's crazy what they did to the coach now. Christie will not be back. Zach just hit a deep three, 77-54. Yeah, Zach is a threat. But AD hit him right back with a three. Anthony Davis, man, cooking. Beasting right now. DeMar DeRozan in the mid-range. Let's see if DeMar DeRozan can keep the thing rolling. They need a lot to go in their favor, I'll tell you that much. Oh, man. That's crazy. He couldn't convert it. Here we go. Keegan Murray for three. That's an air ball. Man, how the hell Keegan Murray out here shooting air balls? He wasn't doing that shit in the regular season. It's a bonus with the putback. It's 80-58, 7:30 to go on my end. Here we go. Marshall. Here comes the Sacramento Kings, DeMar DeRozan. They go on to DeMar, so they cut it to 20. It's still not good enough. It's still not good enough. No, I don't think you need to freak out because they just cut it to 20. I don't know. A lot of people already moved on for Dallas to just advance already, but it's not over yet. Dex, I want to ask you a Laker question. Is there any shot that that Minnesota beats the Lakers? No, I don't know. We're gonna wait for Dex to get back with us. But put in the chat right now. We're in the midst of a commercial break. What y'all think about the Lakers' chances, in the playoffs? Do you think that they could actually take down, part of me think Minnesota could actually take down the Lakers? I think that's going to be key. But this game, man, I can't believe we're dealing with such a blowout. I mean, they really should be ashamed of themselves. Dex, let me know if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, did you hear me ask about the Lakers?
No. I went out.
No, I said that as I said, what you think Minnesota's chances are beating y'all?
Probably about 20%.
Yeah, what you think about Julius Randle?
Not much.
You drafted him.
Yeah. and he served his purpose. And then also, the Lakers let him go without even giving him a qualifying offer. So that's how much they feel about Julius Randle, even though he went
Well,
on
that
to
was because they
greener
knew
pastures.
LeBron was coming.
Yeah, but I mean, he went on to greener pastures. You know, he had a successful career, got extended. You know, so he got a good purse string. But Julius Randle is a slot machine, and I don't, he's not much more than RJ Barrett. Once players figure you out and challenge your tendencies, and you cannot shake that, then your production will decline. And that's what happened with Julius Randle. His production declined because they will put a defensive player on him. They know he loves to go left and only left. He's a one-way street driver. And a lot of these players today, they just, they're very athletic. And Julius Randle he's not that man child that he used to be. So I don't know if his hunger could allow him to compensate for his lack of ambidextrous direction on the hardwood. So it's hard to be successful year in and year out when you're a one-way street driver. So that's why he's known as a slot machine.
Yeah, you're right about that with Julius Randle, man. I always want to know how that would have looked if they all would have stayed together. If no trades would have took place and everything would have worked out. I always want to know what that would have looked like. But we'll never know.
Yeah. Well, you can dream about it, though. Nobody can stop you from doing that.
Yeah.
So what's going on? What you think about LaMelo? That exit interview, it almost came to tears. I thought it was sad. Um, I didn't see any kind of enthusiasm on LaMelo behalf of returning to God also. I mean, they have a precipitous drop since the firing of James Durant.
Yeah.
I mean, we feel that James Durant wasn't the ideal coach for LaMelo, but maybe that's what he needed because I mean they have come nowhere near the James Durant era.
I think they had the number one offense under Borrego.
Not for the season, but during the season. Yeah, at one point during the season, yes.
They was excelling. They would have been where you see Detroit, where you see Orlando. They was on that road.
So how do you get behind them? You know what I'm saying? How do you get behind the Cleveland Cavaliers? How do you get behind the Chicago Bulls? How do you get behind the Indiana Pacers? How do you get behind Orlando Magic? How do you get behind the laughing stock of the NBA for like 3 years running, the Detroit Pistons? I mean, the Detroit Pistons recovered from drafting Killian Hayes in the top 10. They recovered from that. It's mad sticking like. And for LaMelo, I think he would be somewhat disingenuous. How can he love all those coaches? When they asked him about the coaches, to me, LaMelo seemed to be somewhat passive aggressive facetiously. Oh, I love that guy. Oh, I love that guy. Oh, I love that guy. Can you hear me?
I'm listening.
Yeah, so I'm just flabbergasted. You know what I mean? And then when they asked him about all of the noise about leaving Charlotte, he said it didn't bother him. You know what I'm saying? He said it didn't bother him. But if you remember, Flight, months ago on Sunday, I spoke to the LaMelo situation. Now, whether anybody believe me or give me any credit, I mean, who cares, right? It's receipt. I said LaMelo do not want to leave Charlotte. I said this before all this came out. I said he loves Charlotte, and I explained why he loves Charlotte. I said he loved the atmosphere. It's like the sister to Atlanta, where you get a lot of middle class and prominent black people living a life of variety in Charlotte, North Carolina. I said you don't see that in Chino Hill. You don't see that in Orange County. You don't see nowhere near that. You understand what I'm saying? So he's not in Atlanta, but he's in Charlotte, which is a little sister. And that atmosphere of seeing successful black people that's not military based, because we know like Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, those are military people that's making that money out there. So the military is the biggest and largest employer of black people. But Charlotte is a banking hub. So these people are in the financial market. So they're making buku bucks. And they're raising their children in pretty decent environments. I'm talking about black people in Charlotte. So this is aesthetically fascinating to LaMelo. You understand what I'm saying? Because he identified with black more than he do white. But his team, once again, LaMelo team, the people who depend on LaMelo for their sustenance to to an degree, wants him in a larger market so they can expand their brand. They can expand their profile and keep the cat litter coming in. You understand what I'm saying? The metal's good. He got LaFrance, he got Puma, he got other AT&T. He's good. He don't got to go nowhere. And LaMelo is global. He's globally accepted, international icon. He don't have to go nowhere. But his team, you follow what I'm saying? They want him in a larger metropolitan area. So when they talked about the noise or people in his ear, that's the team. Who else is going to be? Nobody else in LaMelo ear. We already know LeBron want all the brothers to play together, regardless where he's at. He just want them to play together. It could be in Charlotte, it could be in Chicago, it could be in LA. It doesn't even matter. It could be in New York. He just want them to play together. So it's not LeBron, but people seem to obfuscate a lot of our takes because maybe it makes them feel inferior. I don't know. I'm not here guessing. I have a pipeline and I ask questions. You can't give me your phone number and you think I'm just going to, be just proud to have your phone number. No, I'm going to ask questions and I'm going to say, can I say it or not? You understand what I'm saying, Flight? Yeah, you know it's like. I done told you several things that we never even discussed on live about LaMelo in some portion of his team. You understand what I'm saying? So it's really indicative of ego that know, it seemed like they were try to listen to us. They will run and try to get the information from somewhere else. Like, we we ain't pushing the meter. And it's sad because, like I said, months over slavery, I gave the whole spiel.
Yeah, Dex just logged out. He'll be back in with us. This is a blowout right now, so forgive us. We started to switch gears. Make sure y'all switch things up. Because tomorrow we will be going live. And breaking down more about what we just discussed. Take this almost like it's an appetizer. You just politicking in there. You're too crazy. How we do is flight sports. It's gonna be a big time playoff matchup. This weekend. You got a lot going on. We got the playoffs. God damn it. The Mavericks up 21. Man, Zach LaVine should be ashamed of himself with the performance that he putting on. This is unacceptable. It's crazy. How can some shit like this happen? Dallas is killing them, y'all. Salute to all y'all in the chat. You already know what it is. I felt sorry for all of us because we got robbed of a good game. That's what we got robbed of a good game. It's 89-70 on my end. Exactly. Them dudes they went outside. All this money for them to come out like this. It's not even the fact of them losing. It's just like they literally didn't even perform. They no-showed. They're making so much money, man, they're ready to go spend it. They're trying to play. This is crazy, y'all. Yeah, Melo, he gonna be all right, y'all. We just discussing the Melo ball. Melo gonna be just good. Shout out all y'all in the chat. I repeat, make sure you hit them all. We pulling up. We gonna have a ball family live stream. You don't want to miss that. We're gonna be breaking a lot of things down. We have some coaching firings. I want to get into Griffin. I want to get into a lot. It's gonna be very exciting. Shout out to all y'all in the chat that pulled up. Today, tomorrow, yesterday. PJ, 15 big buckets. DeMar DeRozan operating in the mid range, and that's money. Big time play from DeMar DeRozan. This is sad. This is a sad game. Kings got to pick it up.
Wow, I don't know how much you heard because
You locked out.
I was, yeah. What part did you hear so I can go back?
Then I forgot I already started talking for about 2 minutes. 2, 3 minutes. I'm trying to
Okay,
figure.
maybe when you need to say what I said, then.
Yeah. If you
Maybe
can
I
give
need to
us,
keep that close to my vest.
give us a rundown. I let the people know we're in the midst of a blowout, so we
Yeah,
switching
exactly.
gears. Yeah.
Well, what I was saying is that about the exit interview with LaMelo Ball, saying that he wants to build with the Charlotte Hornets. Um, but that's a one-sided affair, right? Let's be honest. If LaMelo wants to build with the Charlotte Hornets, then why the Charlotte Hornets ain't trying to build with LaMelo? You can't give me Bassa. You can't give me Puko. You can't give me Musa Diabate. You can't give me Josh Green. You can't give me Trey Man. You know what I'm saying? You can't. You can't give me these guys like that. Now Nick Smith Jr. Of course he got drafted. That's different. Brandon Miller got drafted. That's different. But the guy that you're trading for, that you're bringing in house, is that building? And then on top of that, we heard Jeff Peterson say, and this wasn't no Freudian slip. He said, we're not trying to win like this. We have phases. So there's a conflict of interest. Your star player said he's willing to build, but you're saying, I'm not building shit. I'm not putting no money into this stuff. First of all, let's see if we can recoup some of this $3 billion before we think about anything when it comes to building and spending X amount of dollars to make the team better. They don't want the Charlotte Hornet fan base to have hope. Mitch Kupchak spilled the beans when James Borrego went to the playing game. They said the process has been sped up and the expectation from the fan base is they're becoming spoiled. That's why they fired James Borrego. They didn't fire James Borrego because he wasn't the coach for the Melo. They fired James Borrego because James Borrego want more wins and losses on his record. He cares. So then they try to be slick and bring in Kenny Atkinson. And Kenny Atkinson said, I want to bring in my own team. Because they was trying to circumvent the process with Kenny Atkinson. They was trying to encapsulate Kenny Atkinson by staying with the coaching staff that Michael Jordan had intact. So that way Kenny Atkinson will be buying. He would have the freedom to express himself to the up degree. So he was trying to be slick. And Kenny Atkinson saw through the charade. He was like, oh, hell no. I see what this is. You ain't trying to win. You want my name on your product, but yet you got your coaching staff that got more influence on the players than I did. And the coaching staff is more loyal to what you guys already got going on as an organization. Whereas I bring in my coaching staff and they're hungry because they got something to prove and they want to win every game. So people are not being honest about it. Let's talk about the other one. And I'm talking about black and white content creators. Even if they know what's going on, they're not being honest about the Charlotte Hornets. It's obvious that the Charlotte Hornets is just in it for the money. How do you renovate a building, right? And then you put this poor product on the floor, expect people to consume it. You renovate the building because you're gonna get a tax write-off. That's part of the maintenance. That's like buying a house. You refinance the house and you add stairs, you add a new kitchen, you cut out space for washer and dryer, you know, and you refinance it at a lower rate. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what the
Yeah.
Charlotte Hornets is doing right now. And it's despicable. And LaMelo is the goose that laid the golden egg, and all they're doing with him is just plastering him all over the place so the arena can stay full. Do you know Charlotte Hornets, if not the only team, but one of the only teams, who don't list their injury report until 30 minutes before the game? That's the NBA requirement. They already been operated by FanDuel. That's a scam in itself. Here you go being sponsored by FanDuel, which is a gambling site, but yet you miss your injury report 30 minutes before the game, which is the NBA maximum time allowed you to have to miss your injury report. Even though the players on the injury report situation is well known prior to a 30-minute drop. Because the gambling. LaMelo Ball, like, was the golden child for sport betting in the first 12 games of the season. Because they had LaMelo at like 19, 6, and 8 as a player prop, same game parlay most of the time. LaMelo was destroying those numbers. Destroying those numbers. So if you don't, the only thing LaMelo kind of slacked was rebound, okay? And we understand because of his ankle. No. So, but as far as the assists and scoring, he was shattering the odd makers in Vegas, embarrassing them. Why do you think LaMelo got the number one fan vote? People was cashing in on the kid. You think there was just little kids out here just putting LaMelo up there like that? So the only people that snubbed LaMelo for the All-Star, even though he was the number one guard selected for the Eastern Conference, was coaches and media. You feel me? Because they're not allowed to play debt to influence their writing. You understand what I'm saying? So,
I totally understand what you're saying, Dex.
so this is, you gotta turn your mic up, like this. So this is what disturbs me.
I totally understand what you're saying, Dex. You're making
Yeah,
some great points. You know what did you think about the media? I know you spoke about it a little bit, but I felt like the media was pressing the line a little bit with hey man, what you think about you being moved out? I remember when Carmelo came to Oklahoma City. And before he even played a game, you had the damn people talking about what you think about coming off the bench. I think these things get planted in their decks. And before you know it, they trying to put him on the bench, but they before he even fucking played a game, they flirted it out there after he was the number one option in New York City. So what do
yeah,
you
but he
think
was out of
about the
basketball for a
media?
little while, right?
Hmm? No,
Was
not
it?
in Oklahoma City. He was
He
coming
was straight
fresh
from
off
New
the
York to
Knicks
Oklahoma
trade.
City.
I'm
Oh,
talking
okay,
when
okay,
Carmelo got to OKC, they was talking about,
okay, got you.
yeah, on media
Well,
day.
yeah, of course they
Yeah,
like to thank you.
yeah. So do you think
Yeah,
they trying to prep the fan base of LaMelo's impending
yes,
departure?
yes, no doubt. Plus, who was that? Boone, Roger Boone. Um, he's a real insider. So he's a brother. So I'm quite sure, he probably pricked Coach Charles Lee or pricked Jeff Peterson, and they made indications of that. And then you had already stated like during, I believe, a live or one of your videos, how LaMelo Ball was being solicited for San Antonio to play with Wemby, and that got knocked down, and then Darion Fox swooped in and got that space.
Yes,
So,
yes.
so there was a lot of inquiring about LaMelo Ball. Whether Jeff took it serious or he was just, going through the process. Hey, let me see what you got. But if you accept a phone call for a trade, because it's business, right? Everybody is available. So if you accept the phone call to listen, then I think Roger Boone has a right as a beat writer to find out what's going on in that stack of hay. Are these just flat out rumors from trolls, or do they have some legs to it? And as me and you know, they had legs to it. You follow what I'm saying? Because when you suck like the Charlotte Hornets
Mm-hmm.
and the brass, yes, the brass of the organization wants to stay behind, then they have to present themselves as movers and shakers. And you're not a mover or shaker if you just trading Nick Richards. If you just trading Vasa Michi. If you just trading Terry Rozier. That's not a mover and a shaker. Terry Rozier was on his last leg anyway. It was obvious he was this kind of, regardless of any allegations made against him. But movers and shakers make moves that make people go, what? What the hell? You follow what I'm saying? DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine. See, that's Arturas Kordakovich. That's a mover and a shaker. I mean, he traded two at one point top 10 MVP candidate in the same season. And he traded Alex Caruso, an all NBA defensive team member. So that's movers and shakers. All this felonious facade, like you really doing something and you only getting people like Trey Mann and Grant Williams, and then people pumping that shit up like it's gold when it's not. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Boston Celtics is not going to give up anything of value in their organization. The Dallas Mavericks, knowing that Luka don't have the leadership most people expect him to have, get rid of someone with potential leadership that can obfuscate Luka flaws and have players focus on their assignment, not so much Luka, right? That voice in the locker room. So you getting that, and you making it seem like this is what the Charlotte Hornets needed. Hell, didn't they need it? Montrezl Harrell? Wasn't he supposed to be a thorough enforcing voice in the locker room? And I like Montrezl Harrell. I met him on several occasions in the Drew League. Montrezl Harrell shouted out like sports TV. So we like Montrezl Harrell. But Montrezl Harrell want to be a D-boy. You know what I'm saying? He could make up his mind if he wanted to play in the NBA or he want to be in the street. So The NBA made his mind up for him. But outside of that, where's the building? That's the only thing that I say that interview was a little murky. And a lot of people that speak on the Charlotte Hornets didn't come clean. You know what I'm saying? I think it was a lot of disingenuous content coming out on the exit interview. You know, because if you know, you know, LaMelo is very quirky, very zany, and playful, and he loves to show his smile. Somebody told LaMelo he have a beautiful smile, and he loves to exploit it.
What'd
I
you
didn't
say?
really get that from him. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like he said what needed to be said. You know, these people give me 203 million because he has yet to qualify for the full 260. He was on the verge of being an all NBA player, a top 15 player in the NBA. He was on that verge. What they call a healthy stretch.
We- We're gonna find out, Dex. You know, can you hear me? Can you hear what I'm saying? What'd you just say? So salute to Dex, you there? You're starting to break up, Dex. You're breaking up bad, Dex.
just feel that Jeff Peterson, he has something in store. He has something in his bag of tricks. I just really believe that. I don't think this is settled. I think there's going to be some conversation in the offseason. Jeff Peterson will hear what he wants to hear and see what he wants to see. I think they will revisit his quality. Another ball. Because he hasn't won anything. It's different if they want to play off ground or want to play off line. I Let's be this. It didn't take much to give Jaden Bronson that extension. But to get in the double, with the injury. Then went out and got Nick back, went out and got Mikhail Tucker, went out and traded Pakistan. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that they have stuff that they can use around Jaden Bronson. It's not hard to see that. So for everybody that's lollygagging on the executive staff that was Charlie Hill, okay, that would be the dog of Delaware. What the fuck? And you know why I can say that? It's because the record indicates. Yes, there were some injuries. That's part of the game. Yes, there were some injuries. But the people that was injured, the people that were injured, the people that were injured, including the Mavericks, they were typical for the Cavaliers because the roster was already. So I understand. The roster was already. But outside of the Mavericks, those injuries were to all-stars or no freeze all-stars. They were just limited. Others, auxiliary. So, also, there was no good judge that you could say, dang, that guy is down. It was basic. Everybody got injured besides the other. The Rangers of it. But there was a place. But Mr. Washington was killing, and now really, it was just because you don't want to go to another basketball game. If the bell was on six like this, the girls know they will get a bird or something. For the Chicago Bulls,
I'm sorry.
they traded Gaffney. They traded the one that was $10
Check that shit.
and they still made a play. And they faced a Miami Heat team, they beat 3 times. It's hard to beat a team 4 times. That's why you don't get any sleep. Right? And that's what happened to Chicago Bulls. They played the team 4 times in a row. And the odds were against Chicago, winning against Miami. So I take it that the Dallas Mavericks won. Shout out to Dallas Mavericks because I thought the Sacramento Kings will have this. Like you said,
Yo, Dex, can you hear me?
shout out to the chat, Thunder, Slim. You guys are pretty busy. Anthony, Rap God, and everybody else who pulled up. Daniel Barry, Jamel Knight.
Yeah, make sure y'all pull up tomorrow night for our Boyle Family live stream. You don't want to miss it. What'd you say, Doug?
I just don't believe LaMelo Ball is going to retire or something. I know I'm down like a Debbie Dallas. I just don't see it. I mean, it started Hornets turning LaMelo Ball into a loser. I mean, these are questions we have to answer. Is this what we want to see from LaMelo Ball? Constantly in the lottery? Is this what we want to see? Always looking for the next best thing? Or do we want to see some continuity and string his wins together? And having a winning record at the end of the season. And qualifying to play 83 games. You have to ask yourself. I think it's a legitimate question. I'm waiting for Fight to come back on. Please, everybody, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. And hit the notification bell so you won't miss one iota of these things. So, like I said earlier, Melo Ball got so much going on. It doesn't matter what kind of reason. It doesn't matter. You got a lot to go partnership with people. But never mind. The people that nourishing them from the Taliban. They have suggested a different one. The development ban anyway. So when they talk about a wider national area as an expansion, they must be talking for themselves. There's only so much you can get out of the show. Talk about the team. I don't know. Hear me out. It's a team. There's only so much they can get out of something because they're not. But if you go to a a more resourceful market, then it can stand different. It, it is new motivation to reignite their ambition. Starting don't have a competition. To start a competition with you, it's not as right for you. What about you go to a market with population is 10, 8 million? You don't think it's 10 how many of them that you might have that are entrepreneurs to get market, they share their knowledge? Because let me tell you something about business. Especially, I'm talking about small business. The internet has made it much more accessible to people's minds. But a lot of people are not checking for small businesses who don't care commercial in that market. Hey, you want to get the market that the commercial to be a local small business. So you want to have a very reasonable rate to put your promotion out. You have to be charged an exclusive amount of dollars. With your promotion. So your Instagram, any social media that advantage to promote, advertise your endeavor. But it's much more easy, it's much more lucrative to do it in the market. It's still local in that market. So buyers, but you are potentially reaching a broader scope of business. And by being in that market, this is to be clear, by you being in that market, say this is another, right? It's going to get everything that's falling off the road. And by you being in that market, people are going to want to see let's work. Let's try it. Let me invest with you. So I'm saying, let me open up some doors for you. Let me introduce you. This is why Roger Gould did develop at that point. Because he feels that deposit was more get the pass. Not the medal itself. I want to make this clear. And I keep having to reiterate because I know there's hoops out there that will probably take what I'm saying and try to flip it and make it like more. So let me make this clear. Not the medal. Like I've been saying for months. It's not the medal. It's people in his ear. And I've been vindicated by the question before Roger Gould. That vindicated. That shows me that I didn't just snatch this about my ass. For those who are inquiring the time, when you heard me say this before, over saying that
mellow too want to be in the long term so they can expand their money. It's all about money, man. It's all about money. Mellow the talent. Mellow can play in New Zealand and still break my come on. So it's not the mellow. But a lot of people here, I'm telling you, people are really funny. Not the mellow. I told you why the mellow like Sean. Did the mellow check that? Go back and listen to that exit and then look on Fight Sports TV. You're thinking that all the homes are there. And you hear me say this a while back and explain exactly what the mellow share. And also give you a an indicator why Roger Boone asked that question and then came back and tried to double down. Where there's smoke, there's fire. You see what I'm saying? I said this was to go. It wasn't no headache, it was mine. That surrounding the mellow. And it's funny. I bet the Chicago Bulls to execute fly away the mellow. It's somebody. Uncle Brown. Uncle Brown said, execute in the kitchen. It's in the kitchen. Because why was the one to a baby with the power where they can do that with my schedule? And my proposal, I can on why. Check it out. What's so fascinating is that what I'm saying is that they don't see that that's why he was going to let you know it's not only that'll get it executed. But now, this is really fucking in. Now, what level of or income? I think that I'm not that. I'm not like around me. But those lead writers for the Hornets going to put their pride uh, out there to feel the vastly more loyal on how they feel about how to perform the election. And the main plan of the organization has been hampered with the consistency of management. We have to act with this. The government was qualified in any on during the top Postgame of the Heat Guard. Wow. One of the outrage of the organization. Now, I know this is a little. I know it's a little. But there's was about that. I don't know what the song was with the record that they have known for that. Come up with that. Great. It's another qualifier. And there will be rumination. If another qualifier, there will be definitely rumination. But I don't know if the Charlotte Hornets organization financially wants to open up the input of rumination for the long term. They will come after you spoke to somebody's contract. So they probably can just defer payment. That's a lot of money. If you don't have to pick it up, it's $20. You can put it together. But not $3. Always in the mind. When the last time Charlotte Hornets after a time that I determined down they scored the Hayward, they have this down it is big. Yet they don't want to get the ball. I think that the answer is a game that the expedition we can have 4 to 5 minutes. That's every. But yet you play home run and game run in real game. With the score training, forget just forget it. I bet that
Hey Dex, he's starting to break up. Hey, hey, we're gonna pull back up tomorrow. Okay. You breaking up.
Fight Sports TV, man. That's my.
makes for
Oh, wait a minute. Purple, what's good? Oh, Dex, are you there? Dex. Hey, Purple, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Uh,
Two goals.
Let me know if you can get
What's
through the decks. We going. How you doing?
I just have to.
You good?
yeah? He going. Dex is going in and out.
I'm about to call him.
That's crazy.
I'm about to call him. Hold on. What's going on with you, Purple?
Nothing much. What Dex fussing
Yeah.
about?
Shit, everything. Uh, I'm gonna have to let him know that he having issues. He probably don't know. Hold on.
Yeah, I got on. I said, let me see what he fussing. Get on here to see what he fussing about. I gotta sign into my
Yeah, Purple. Can you hear me? I just had to let Dex know he having technical difficulties.
What's
Yeah,
going on, Purple?
I can hear you. I heard Dex. It's a little bit clearer now.
Purple, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you,
Hello.
Dex. Yes, you can't hear me?
Yeah, Dex can't hear nobody.
Uh-oh. Yeah, he was going off about something, but it was going in and out. So I don't even know what he was going off about. Um, but I see you covered what the Kings and who and what Dallas.
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Purple was talking to you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You know what's funny? I was saying some real good shit too, and y'all didn't hear none of it. Huh?
You was cooking.
What's up, Purple?
Go ahead, Purple.
What's up, man?
Yeah, look, Purple. Let me know if you're still here.
Yeah, you gotta stay closer to the mic, like, 'cause your voice is low, and then on the replay, you can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, you good right there.
Quiet. Yep. I can hear
What's
both of
going on,
y'all.
Purple? Okay, what's going on with you, Purple?
Nothing
I don't
much.
know. Yeah, I don't. It's a long time no hear from. I don't know how much you heard about my Lamelo rant.
What you ranting about now?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, man, I was ranting for like 30 minutes. I might have said some really good shit that shouldn't be said. So maybe it was good that I was having technical difficulties because I was airing it out
Yeah, I felt like he was. Why was you going off on the Hornets for?
because they're a mess. And
Uh,
I'm sick of and I'm sick of a lot of Hornets content creators acting like they the shit. Like they the moral of the story. No, LaMelo is the moral of the story. Say it the way it's supposed to be said. And when I see these content creators for the Charlotte Hornets, I don't think they're being forthright and honest unless they don't have the information. But if you in the Charlotte Hornets space, right? There's things that goes on in Charlotte. If you read between the fine print, indicate what's going on with the organization to some degree. But it seems like some of the Charlotte Hornets content creators choose to obfuscate that because it's kind of a sore eye. And I don't think that's fair. I think you're cheating the people. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to be a Hornets content creator, not in the Mellow Ball. I'm not saying the Mellow Ball. I'm saying Charlotte Hornets. That's a different entity. Being the Mellow Ball, he was happy to play for Charlotte Hornets. But if you are a Charlotte Hornets content creator, you need to speak on 1 to 17. Not only the Mellow Ball, and then call yourself a Charlotte Hornets content creator. No, just say, hey man, I'm the mellow ball, man. If the mellow ball ain't feeling it, I ain't feeling it. You follow what I'm saying, Purple? Purple? Can y'all hear me?
Dex.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Did you hear what I was speaking about?
Yeah, about the content creators and stuff like that.
Yes. I mean, just be honest.
I seen like the exit interview things, like a clip, and you know how they put out the questions and whatever. I seen what? I seen that they
Purple, you went out.
you. How do you feel if when they say that you should leave the Hornets and all that other stuff? And I was just like, that's not, let us have our opinions about something. But unless it's something like that you didn't heard from his camp, or you feel like, he didn't say it personally, or you aware of something coming from a fan's perspective, and you feel like it's like one-sided, it's something that you should never have asked. I don't believe that question was very professional at all.
No, I thought that was a very potent question, and I think inquiry minds wanted to know. So I'm not upset at Roger Boone for asking that question. And not only did he ask it once, he tried to reiterate by bringing it at another angle. Um, the reason why a lot of us feel that question or those set of questions was improper is because we don't want to have an inkling or tingling that LaMelo is dissatisfied.
But but here's the reason why. I don't know what's going on the other side with some other people and stuff that say they support him, and particular people in his camp. But that's why I felt like the question wasn't professional. Because to me, it came off as, let them talk as loud as they want to talk. You know the people in your circle, in the organization, whatever it might be. Why even ask that? Because when they've been talking about it on ESPN, it's been people's opinion, like, yeah, like, I think LaMelo Ball should be traded. I think they should start over. It ain't being like, oh, LaMelo Ball needs to be traded, as far as what we hear on, Twitter and things like that. That was my only problem, because I felt like it was coming out of malice to kind of be like,
Yeah,
yeah, they got to shut up.
when you a beat writer, you're not a fan of the team like that. You know,
Hmm.
your job, first of all, is to get the details, the information. You know what I'm saying? And for him to ask such a question or series of questions,
Hmm.
I'm quite sure his bosses pressed upon him. Or he knew some information that he wasn't supposed to say. So he rather for the mellow to share. You know what I mean? The Jets don't really talk much. Coach Charles Lee's not really speaking outside of his pay grade. So how will the mellow feel about it? Because I'm quite sure all these things, because if he did, that person would be getting hate mail. That person probably be getting desperate. So he's not going to throw anybody else. That's why he said he didn't say nobody wasn't in here. He just thinks he's not bothered. That's why I said some of the consequences because they just point out the fact that the government states nobody has the other thing is that the bond that was good. Never said nobody did not, and like I said earlier, I talked about this when we had we look at the thumbnails and all these guys going to go back and check it out. And they have to burn stop the horn for a while. And the proposal I shared the dynamic with the ball. And the living conditions and the atmosphere, obviously, of the king's business. And go to Harvard. That is basically what I feel. It's still there, but
I need to fix
I
something.
hear you.
Yeah, I'm still here. I need to fix
Mic check,
something.
mic check.
Can you hear me now? Dex. Dex.
Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check. Somebody please put something in the comments if you can hear me or not.
This is Holly Heat of the Hot Seat with Holly Heat, and this is Flight Sports TV.
Mic check, mic check. I don't hear anybody. Do anybody hear me?